morning, bro. Morning, morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alcatraz Island. As you come down the dock here, if we can hold you here for just a minute, we're going to do a quick introduction to this national park site. It's a very special day today. We have American Indians from the original Indian Occupation on Alcatraz. So there will be lots of talks today, so hang out and we'll let you know what's going on. Morning, Catherine. Nice to see your smiling faces out here. We're just doing a little quick class photo of 69. There we go. I'm going to pass the mic over to you, Greg. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Canyon Sayers Roods, and I am speaking for Anne Marie Sayers and Indian Canyon. We are Coast-Known Ohlone people here of the Bay Area. We are still here. And I want to thank you for being here, and I want to welcome you to Ohlone territory. And thank you for amazing welcoming words and energies. I would like to share with you a grandmother song to open this space in a good way. I honor all of my ancestors. I'm Coast-Known Ohlone and Chumash, and I want to share with you this grandmother song. With this grandmother song, we honor our grandmothers, their grandmothers, and in all Mother Earth, for without them and without her, we would not be here. We are sharing this time and space together for a reason. And so I offer this song with gratitude, humility, and thankfulness that we are present here today for a reason. So this is Canyon's grandmother song. Good energies for today and walking forward for the next 7 generations. So just feel that energy so we can go forward. Moi moi kawana, moi moi ka, moi moi na, moi moi ka, moi moi na ya ya kanale, moi moi ya yo kanale, moi moi kawana, moi moi ka, moi moi na, moi moi ka, moi moi na yo kanale, moi moi yo kanale, moi moi kawana, moi moi ka, moi moi na, moi moi ka, moi moi na yo kanale, moi moi yo kanale, moi moi kawana, moi moi ka, moi moi na, moi moi ka, moi moi na yo kanale, moi moi yo kanale. Also known as Coyote Woman. Let today be a beautiful day, and let our voices be heard and truth in history spread forth to acknowledge all of our perspectives.
And I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words and say an opening prayer for all, and remember all the bros and sisters that were here that had passed on. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having these type of activities, because they put their lives on the line, the Indian movement, the indigenous movement. And actually Alcatraz was a defining moment in the Indian rights movement. It was the beginning of the Indian movement across this country. And one good shining example of that is the Declaration of Human Rights for Indigenous People, and all the work that went into this movement. And you're here to celebrate and honor that struggle. So with that, I'd like to say a short prayer in my Dene language.
I transferred, graduated after 2 years at that junior college, and I went to Colorado State. And that was in the fall of 1969. And it was there that I met all the people in the movement. The African Americans had their Black Student Union, and the Chicanos had their United Mexican American Student Organization, United Farm Workers, and there was no Indians on campus. And I felt out of place. This is Colorado State University with 24,000 students, mostly white. And I went out for the team practice with them, and my heart wasn't in it anymore because I'd seen some things. The summer of '69, after I graduated, I came out here to Oakland, got involved with the other brown students, the brown skin colored students who were Chicanos. They became my friends because there were no Indian students at CSU. And then in November 19th, 1969, I was in my third year at Colorado State. I picked up the Rocky News newspaper out of Denver, Colorado, and on the front page is Indians Occupy Alcatraz. And it struck my interest. I looked at it, I said, man, I need to go check this out. So I was telling my friends, I'd like to go out there and see what's going on, educate myself, and participate. So in December, Christmas break, after we took our finals, I decided that weekend, I said, I'm going to go out to Alcatraz. So I packed up some things in the bag, in a sleeping bag, and Monday morning I got out on the highway. I hitchhiked to Laramie, Wyoming, and from Laramie, Wyoming, I hitchhiked to Rock Springs, Wyoming, and continued to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City over Donner Pass through a snowstorm, came out in Sacramento. In Sacramento, I hitchhiked to San Francisco. And I made it all the way down to Fisherman's Wharf. So I'm walking along the wharf there to see where the people would boat to get out to Alcatraz. There's a station wagon pulls up. And Richard Oakes was driving the station wagon. Al Miller, Joe Bill, Pat Janea. Pat Janea was a Dene Neville. I knew him from school. He went to Holbrook High School. And he saw me and he recognized me. No advertised. So, hey, go ahead, I'm living house in here. He wanted to know where am I going? I said, Alcatraz. He said, it's right there. I looked over there and then he said, come in, jump in with us. But you go, hey. And I found out he was a student at San Francisco State College. All those guys were students at San Francisco State College. That was in December 1969. So I spent a month out here. But for me, it was pretty cold. I wasn't used to extreme cold. I wasn't prepared, but I spent a couple of nights, and then I decided, Pat Janea told me, why don't you just stay at my place over here at San Francisco State College, married housing. So I did that, stayed there for about a month. Or, I went to Alcatraz Island every morning, came back on the boat in the afternoon, and did that time there. And what I found was, the level of awareness among the people who were occupying. It was pretty serious, pretty serious. And I realized that I was living in a different world, aspiring to be a professional baseball player, a student, and then this was the movement.
I'm from Siston, South Dakota. I am Siston Walking Sioux tribe. I'm also Chippewa, but I was born and raised in South Dakota, and I was one of them that landed that night on November 20th, and I've got a lot of stories to tell about that night. The native was one of them at Castile, and I have occupied the island for quite a while, and it was very exciting and a real good learning experience. It's very enjoyable, and I am so proud of being here for that event. I'm proud to be here today, but my tenure on the island was fantastic. The people that were here were so cohesive, worked together, no friction, none whatsoever. We had a purpose, and that purpose worked well. We did gain something. We didn't get the island, of course, but we gained a lot of other things like programs, educational funding and stuff were enhanced than by President Nixon at that time. So Alcatraz Island is a really historical event and a very positive thing for the Native people. And I think it made a lot of the most Indians, Native American people proud to be Native American from this event.
I'm very proud to be a member of my tribe, and when we talk, we're going to talk about the impact that Alcatraz made on us and how many of us people that were here with the original first year of occupation on this island, how many of us became lawyers, doctors, got our master's and doctorate degrees, how many sat on their tribal councils, became tribal chairmen, tribal chairwomen, how many became educators and leaders in their communities. And that's something I think that a lot of people don't know, that untold story of a lot of the original occupiers. And I'm very proud to have been one of the original occupiers that lived out here for those many months. Thank you.
Good morning. This is my dear friend for many, many years since the original occupation, Eloy Martinez. And thank you, Gina, for those beautiful words and for that great joke. Eloy, you want to say a few words?
This has been long overdue. It's really nice to see all these faces here, you know. This is something that we should all plan on doing every year. We should become a room night event for Indians of all tribes and all of our relatives, so that they can see that we are still here, you know. And it's important that they know that we're still here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate everybody who made this PowerPoint presentation happen this morning. It was like, whew, the answer to a few prayers. A lot of Rangers and Ruby working together, and Bruce pitching in, and everyone that made it possible so that we could see the show here. I'm Sasheen Little Feather, Native American Indian woman. I'm Apache and Yaqui. I'm an activist, an educator, and an elder. I started my journey a long, long time ago as a very young girl. I grew up in an urban environment. I discovered my Indian roots as a teenager. I started to go and dance at Bay Area powwows as a northern traditional buckskin dancer. I joined the Intertribal Dancers at the Intertribal Friendship House in Oakland, California. I first came to Alcatraz with some fellow Indian students aboard the Clearwater boat donated by the Clearwater Credence Revival. They were a band headed by John Fogarty. We, the urban Indians, gathered together on Alcatraz. I joined my good friend Thomas Binyaka, who is the interpreter of the Hopi Indian prophecy. Thomas Binyaka, who is a Hopi elder, explained that Alcatraz was a fulfillment of part of the Hopi prophecy, in that the red man would be driven by the white man from the east coast of America to the west coast. And in the west would come a sign, a rock, where Indians of all red nations would gather together. That place is here, Alcatraz. Then Red Power, our quest for our civil rights would begin from the west and travel all the way across to the east coast. This was a beginning for many of us urban Indians into exploring our heritage and our cultural roots. We were encouraged by our elders. We were led by a young Mohawk Indian man by the name of Richard Oakes. He was Mohawk, he was proud, he was a leader, and he was from the state of New York. He died for the cause. And we honor him today, and we will always honor him here on this island of Alcatraz for giving his life for what he believed in and for being our leader. The island was occupied for 18 months from 1969 to 1970 into 1971. It was originally unclaimed, unoccupied federal land, which would be claimed by us, the Native American Indians, according to the 1968 Laramie Treaty. In 1971, Grace Thorpe, who was the daughter and an attorney of the great Indian sack and fox athlete Jim Thorpe, negotiated a trade, Alcatraz, for 200 unoccupied, unclaimed federal acres, which was formerly an Army base in Davis, California. It was called Quetzalcoatl University, DQU. Degundaguita was a great Iroquois chief, and Quetzalcoatl was a great Aztec chief. So together it brought the indigenous people from the north and the indigenous people from the south into a 2-year community college. Our people went to that college to get their 2-year college degree, and they were able to transfer to UC Davis and get their 4-year degree. Dave Risley, who is a Yurok, California Indian, and Dr. Jack Forbes were the chancellors of DQU. They were the ones who started the Native American Studies program at the University of California throughout the state. Education was always a top priority for us Native American people. So I want you to know that Alcatraz was not just an occupation. It carried forth through to education that went beyond the occupation of this island, so that many people went on to get their degree far beyond the 18-month occupation.
No, that's when the rain's supposed to stop. Oh. The deal we made with Almighty. We did yesterday. We said 11:40 for 2 hours. That's all you need.
Supposed to be a train for the first time in decades and decades and decades. It's supposed to be a train. And the raining, it might stop soon. There's the old train station, hopefully not to be torn down. I don't know yet, but it kind of looks like it's going to meld into the reality of the train. That's what I think.
1 minute, it will open up.
Bazaar. Bruce is out here there somewhere trying to find a place to park. I hope he manages in time. I wonder if this will help. I don't see a sign saying I can't go up there. Well, I'm going up there.
Right. And then the other one starts moving, right? And then people go, I never go to one that's never that one. It's always the one next to it. That's hysterical. Oh, this thing is just white.
Here it is.
Well, it's a pretty thing. Hopefully. For a new train. New carpets.
Smells like new train.
Sure does.
Ah, why did it close?
They'll be able to bypass open increasingly like this. So that's if not, I can stand my friend.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what kind of freight they're going to be hauling?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what kind of freight are they going to be hauling?
We don't haul freight.
I thought it has permission to haul freight, and that's why it's a heavy train.
So there's freight that runs in the north.
I believe
and
so,
it's basically
yeah.
grain and things like that. There's
Okay, not wine bottles down to the ferry?
oh, I don't think so. No, that would be nice though.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was living in Marin in 2008 when Prop Q passed, and to be honest, it was the most exciting thing ever when Prop Q passed, and I finally learned that there was going to be train service in my hometown again.
Great.
It was, and then freight trains started showing up, and then these guys started showing up. Now I hear them go through town every day, and it's just cool.
You like the sound. You're okay with that?
Because I used to live out in the East Bay where they get trains all the time.
That's true.
It's like no big deal. But
you get used to
here,
it.
Hearing trains on a daily basis is kind of a new thing.
All right. What's your name?
I'm Andrew.
I'm Sharon. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Virtual
yeah.
handshake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or Air 5.
Yeah, right. So I'll look for you on the news tonight.
Oh, well, thank you.
what did you trade for the rain lifting with the Almighty? What did you trade?
It's gonna get free ride for the next 100 years.
That's pretty good. Well, for the Almighty, that's just a blink.
Almighty and all Almighty family. So.
Oh, I like that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So Bruce, so Mansour said that I asked him what he traded for the rain lifting with the Almighty, and he said the Almighty will get free train rides for the next 100 years, and I said, well, that's just a blink for an Almighty. He said, and the whole Almighty family. Well, that's better.
I'm Farhad Mansourian, MANSOURIAN. I'm SMART's General Manager. The next phase is going to Larkspur from here, and that should take place in about 2 years. And the phase after that is to go north to Windsor. And the phase after that is to go to Hillsburg. And the final phase is to go to Clover.
Okay, and this phase will be complete by the end of the year.
We will be opening passenger service for the first 43 miles from here to Sonoma County Airport by the end of the year.
Okay, and this was a long time coming. It's taken a while to raise the money to build this.
The owners in Marina and Sonoma decided to tax themselves $0.25, which means every time they spend $100, they set aside 25 cents for the train. So to their credit, they did that in 2008, and less than 8 years later,